Hello everyone, and welcome back to the ARPA Highlight Series. I am Cameron McLaughlin, the Equity and Engagement Coordinator in the People and Belonging Department, and I'm thrilled to have you join us today. The ARPA Highlight Series is here to shine a light on the amazing programs and resources made possible through Athens-Clarke County government's allocation and distribution of ARPA funds. Our goal is to educate and inform our community about the impactful work being done, the lives being changed, and the opportunities being created thanks to this vital funding. In this episode, we're shining a spotlight on the ARPA-funded Delinquency Prevention Initiative by the Boys and Girls Club of Athens. This program focuses on guiding at-risk youth toward brighter futures through mentorship, education, and support. We'll delve into how the program addresses the root causes of delinquency, the strategic partnerships that amplify its impact, and the positive outcomes they've achieved toward impacting our community. So sit back, relax, and get ready to be inspired by the stories and insights we will be sharing with you. To kick things off, let's meet our guest. Can you please tell us your name and your role within the organization?
My name is Sterling Gardner. I'm the interim president and CEO of Boys and Girls Club of Athens.
My name is Tyreek Dunn. I'm the director of Delinquency Prevention Initiative for the Boys and Girls Club of Athens.
My name is Ray Donovan, and I'm the ARPA project coordinator for the Boys and Girls Club.
Can you give us a brief overview of the Delinquency Prevention Initiative, DPI, and the Boys and Girls Club? What is the program inspired by, and what are the main goals of the program?
Well, the DPI program was actually born out of a program out of the early 1990s, and it was a Boys and Girls Club delinquency program called Gang Prevention Through Targeted Outreach. And over the years, the concept has evolved from the standpoint of that when you're starting to talk about gang prevention, what you're really talking about is delinquency prevention, making sure that young people feel supported, that they're doing the right things, that they're on the right path. And if they're doing that, they're less likely to actually join a gang. Back in 2001, I believe it was, the Athens-Clarke County Commission decided that they wanted to do something unique in youth development to deter young people from joining gangs in this community. So what they did is that they had kind of put out a summer RFP for agencies to apply for funds. We decided what we wanted to do is that we wanted to bring forth the DPI initiatives as part of the Boys and Girls Club program. After an initial funding for a summer program, then we went back, the Boys and Girls Clubs of Athens went back and resubmitted a proposal to, number one, start new programming for Boys and Girls Clubs in public housing, because we felt that we were underserving many of the needs of the kids in some of those communities. And those communities also had become a high priority for Athens-Clarke County government to have some programming in public housing. So we were a natural fit for that because we had also done a program back in Jackal Wells Homes, better known as Paldo, for about 20 years. And so it was a great opportunity for us to reconnect of having programming directly in neighborhoods through the assistance with ARPA dollars. We were awarded a contract to not only go back into those communities, but to also do weekend programming for our larger facilities here in Athens, the H.T. Edwards Club, and also the Jolie Smilo Club on 4th Street. And so it's really been a great opportunity for us to be able to expand our programming.
How has the ARPA funding been used to support the DPI program? What specific aspects of the program have benefited the most from this funding?
The ARPA funding has gone towards our 4 satellite offices, Parkview, Nellie B, Broadacres, and Rock Springs, and they brought on about 100 students in those 4 satellite sites, and they focus a lot on reading and math and athletics to try to improve the athletic or academic scores, and also to give the people a place where they're safe and they can go and be part of the program.
What strategies have you all used to ensure that the DPI program reaches the youth that need the program the most?
Basically, meeting the youth where they're at, going to the schools, going to different community events, making sure that we go around to all the sites, but as well as just going around in the Athens community, talking to parents, talking to kids, is too light to the programming that we offer.
So you talked about meeting the students where they're at. Are there any other, I would say, innovative or creative ways that you all have pushed this initiative out to the community?
I think one of the things that I think is creative for us is that Boys and Girls Club, we're probably the largest youth serving agency in Athens-Clarke County. But what we also realize is there are a lot of other smaller nonprofits that have a tremendous impact on our young people. So one of the things that we did with part of the funding or through our proposal with the funding was to help fund smaller nonprofits do work that actually use the DPI initiative. Because while many of them actually have programming that truly support our mission of DPI from a standpoint of academic support, financial literacy, and things of that sort, we have those tools that are evidence-based programs that we can directly give to them to help them really cultivate their program and make their program even more well-rounded. And they reach many kids that our regular club population does not reach for whatever reason, whether it's because, they're in other neighborhoods, they just don't come to the club, or they actually have other interests. One of the most amazing programs, while we're here talking about podcasting, we're here on a podcast, is that Rick Dunn has his Athens area high school completion initiative, which basically he has students that are interested in journalism and things like that and podcasting, and they actually do their own radio show also, and they write and produce, and these are skills that young people can take into their academic career or even into their work careers. That's just one of those particular programs to spotlight that we think is creative, and they have many kids that are in their program have never even set foot inside the Boys and Girls Club, but yet we're able to impact them through another program.
So prior to receiving ARPA funds and now have in the process of receiving ARPA funds, what results have you seen these funding change throughout the youth that you all serve at Boys and Girls Club?
One of the really exciting accomplishments over the first year is that we are required to improve reading and math scores for our students. And our goal was to increase it by 50% throughout the program. And we've been able to get in reading, we've improved it 52%, and math, we've improved it 48% in the first year. So a lot of kudos go out to our unit directors that are out there every day working with the kids, trying to get them improving their grade level in reading and math. And we are very proud of that.
Can you all share any stories or data that highlight the program's impact on the youth in the community?
Well, I think what Ray just said, that dashboard that we have that talks about the academic impact. Of course, many of the kids in the communities that we serve do not normally achieve very well academically. And to make that type of impact in year one, to be honest with you, we thought it would be year two. But we've had so many kids that have come up to us to talk about how much more confident that they're feeling in school now that, they feel that they're really getting something out of the program from a standpoint of that we even have retired school teachers that come into the program in some of those satellite units and really work on a one-on-one or a small group basis with those kids, and just the feeling of satisfaction and confidence that they're able to compete with their classmates on an academic level. It's a really good feeling to me when those kids are talking about it.
So you talked about some of the successes. Have there been any challenges that you all encountered while running this program?
There's been a few, just more so getting people to get up and attend programming. That's the main thing, which is why we're pivoting and more so trying to go to the communities opposed to only expecting kids to come to us. So with boots on the ground every day, going and meeting the kids where they are and engaging them the best we can there.
How has feedback from the youth and their families influenced the program? Can you all give examples of changes or improvements made based on the feedback that you've heard from youth and their families?
A recent example, we held a town hall meeting at Rock Springs location last week. Parents were stating that they didn't know about a lot of the programs that's going on. So that's obviously letting us know that we need to do a better job on reaching them, letting them know what's going on by, sending flyers to the housing authority, or just going and handing out flyers, or building around specific programming where we can have an event night where we're going to the communities and talking about what we have to offer. So that's one example that we have, being able to take what the community has said and implement it right now.
Right. One of the things that when we went into that community and they were talking about the lack of resources or not knowing is that we talked about the 211 program through the United Way, which again gives you the ability to access and contact many other programs. So as a Boys and Girls Club, we have already stated that we will actually, for the 1,100 housing units, that we will get out information by mail to each and every household in public housing. And on top of that, we will partner with local radio stations to tout the 211 program for those families that are in need of services, because no one should not know. And we're also going to do a social media campaign, because the thing is many people are reached in many different ways. So it's up to us to try to find different ways to be able to reach the community that's in need.
One thing I heard from you earlier, you talked about collaboration, working with other organizations within Athens-Clarke County. Can you talk about how that strengthened the program, working with other organizations?
Yes, I can. Working with these other organizations, it sheds light on what's going on in-house, what we have. Turning on the light in other students, saying that, oh, hey, I can go to the Boys and Girls Club. The Boys and Girls Club is a fun and it's a cool place to go. I want to try it out. And it's been able to bring a lot more students in our doors that we necessarily might not have reached prior to, as well as, the partnership with the adults that run these organizations by participating in various events, coming out to the town hall meetings, maybe even the field day over the summertime that we held, being a part of task force that we're in these talks and conversations on how to bring and empower our youth. So those are the ways that we're able to, benefit from these other organizations.
So we've talked a lot about the president, like what's going on currently with Boys and Girls Club and their DPI funding. Let's say future ACC Gov funding becomes available. What are some plans for future funding?
The thing is that we've only begun this process, less than 2 years ago. And if we know that if we're truly going to make a change in our community about making sure that our young people are supported and not joining gangs, it can't be a 1 year piece of funding here or 2 years. Just to even get the baseline data took us a year. And now we know where we need to improve at, which neighborhoods we need to do the most work in. So this is a long range plan that we have, hopefully to stay in these neighborhoods. We hope that there is additional funding from ACC government to keep these centers open and to help our other clubs and to do Saturday programming. But Boys and Girls Clubs overall is very interested, interdependent of the funding from Athens-Clarke County government. We want to see those centers thrive. Right now we're challenging our board that, because we know that, especially from an ARPA standpoint, all of those funds will run out by the end of 2026. But the thing is, if we're already making these strides now with our students, then we need our community to invest also, not just Athens-Clarke County government. So that we really do hope that we do get an award extension through Athens-Clarke County government that will allow us the time to have a strategic community plan to go out and raise additional dollars so that we don't have to be completely reliant on those dollars to keep these centers open.
Are there any programs or projects outside of DPI that Boys and Girls Club is excited to expand on?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Right now we are really reaching out and exploring the workforce development space, working with kids that are 16 to 24. These are young people that are not in the normal demographics of Boys and Girls Club. Our core membership group is normally 6 to 18, but we also know that there are some young people out there, especially starting at 16, that may have dropped out of high school, graduated high school, and not be working. And we call those young people disengaged youth. And so one of the things that we're doing now is that it's just no longer acceptable just to say, hey, we got you through high school with a 3.0 GPA. Have a great life. We know you're going to be successful. Every kid is not equipped for college. So how do we help them find jobs, trades, skills, other education avenues that will help them to be productive citizens in the future? So that is kind of one of the other pushes that we have. Is not just the 6 to 18, now through all the way up through 24. Because what you also have to realize when we start talking about workforce development, about 43% of our total population in Athens-Clarke County, and that's even if you take away the University of Georgia, are under the age of 25. So when you're talking about future workforce, 43% of those people right now are under 25. So we have to educate our young people, our elementary school kids, but also we have to go back and re-engage many of those kids that are between 16 and 24 to become productive citizens.
What advice would you offer to other organizations looking to start similar initiatives with funding from ACC Gov?
I think that one of the important things is you have a good team behind you and an infrastructure in order to be able to meet a lot of the challenges, administrative and also financial, in putting together a comprehensive program.
Is there anything else you all would like to share, let our listeners know about the DPI program and the impact ARPA funding has had on the Boys and Girls Club?
I will say this is that, when Ray talks about having the infrastructure to do this type programming, even for an organization the size of the Boys and Girls Club, this initiative that we undertaken, it's, I don't know what we would have done without a Ray Donovan, but being able to bring in experienced people from different walks of life. But the thing is, it's totally been worth it. I think that many people in this community, I'm learning so much more from our law enforcement community. I'm learning a lot from our school district because, when everybody's in the room together, a lot of people think that they know what everybody else is doing, but they have no idea. But the thing is, what happens when you put everybody in that room and then you start collaborating on ideas on how to make things better? And you take on this task and you can take on this task. When we talk about the delinquency prevention initiatives, this is not a Boys and Girls Clubs initiative. This is truly a community initiative. And we're very proud of Ray's efforts to make sure that we're administratively sound, very proud of Tyreek's effort from a program standpoint to bring people together to effectively communicate our vision and at the same time receive input from them so that we can come together and make sure that every young person in this community can feel safe and supported.
How can the community get involved or support you all's efforts through this program?
I would say right now, as these town halls are being scheduled out, showing up and speaking up. That's the main thing. We can't help if we don't know what's the issue, what you need. So people, whether they're old or young, or everything in between, showing up and speaking up, but also not being afraid to ask what's going on, and we'll be happy to help and put you in the right direction of where you want to go.
Thank you all for your time. In closing, is there a way that our listeners could get in contact with you? Any final words outside of the DPI program? Just any last words before we close out?
Again, if people want to find out what the Boys and Girls Clubs is doing, please just reach out to us at www.greatfuturesathens.com. And it talks about all of our programs and many of the programs that we're supporting. I'm not sure of the link, Athens-Clarke-County.gov, but we also plan to put the link up to the dashboard about the good work that we're doing. And we ask the community to support us. We need, we always need more volunteers. We always need more money. We need more resources. I mean, if you just want to drop off some pens and pencils and things like that, people just don't realize, even in our fall program, is that we serve a snack and a go home meal to every young person that's in our program. So what that becomes on a daily basis throughout our Athens network is almost 400 young people that are getting meals and healthy snacks every day. So if you think about 400 kids, how many crayons they break also. So, I mean, that sounds really simple and it sounds really funny, but we have a very large program budget. And sometimes if you're just bringing by paper. If you have a special skill, we have a music studio. If you have art skills, come by and just talk about what you have the ability to offer us and let us maybe put you to work. I think that people, they can find some real satisfaction with working directly one-on-one with many of our young people. And for them, that makes a big difference, that knowing that someone else cares about them. I mean, they see me and Tyreek and Ray Big D and all of these other great staff members that we have at the Boys and Girls Club, but seeing that other people in the community care about them and want to interact with them and want them to become happy, healthy, and productive citizens. I think that's the key to success of supporting our young people.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of the ARPA Highlight Series. We hope you've gained insight into the valuable work the Boys and Girls Club of Athens is doing through their Delinquency Prevention Initiative, learned about the program's impact on at-risk youth, and met the dedicated individuals making a difference in our community. A special thanks to Ray, Sterling, Tyreek, and the Boys and Girls Club of Athens team for their hard work and commitment to guiding our youth toward brighter futures. Be sure to tune in to future episodes as we continue to highlight the transformative projects and resources benefiting Athens-Clarke County. Until next time, take care and stay informed.